Don't Vote Labour Again, Episode 61. At 2:15 a.m. on October the 26th, 2024, an inebriated Labour MP quite seriously assaulted a man in the street. It occurred in Frodsham in Cheshire, in Mike Amesbury's constituency of Runcorn and Helsby. Amesbury had held the seat since 2019. This was no tipsy scuffle. He threw a sucker punch that knocked his victim, Paul Fellows, to the floor, then continued to rain down 5 punches on the prone man. He was then dragged off Fellows by passers-by, then staggered away, repeatedly announcing, "You won't threaten the MP ever again, will ya?"
Won't ever threaten me again, will you?
The MP
You won't ever threaten me again, will you? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And you won't threaten the MP ever again, will you?
Get him
And you'll
on
never
camera.
threaten me. You'll
Get him
never
on
threaten
camera,
me
Jono. He's the
ever
local
again.
MP. He's the local MP,
Come and
Jono.
threaten the MP. You'll never do it again, will you?
Unfortunately for Amesbury, the whole incident was caught on camera and had gone viral before his hangover had cleared. He soon had the whip removed, and over a week later, on November the 7th, he was charged. In the magistrates' court, he pled guilty, quitting Labour that day, and was sentenced to 10 weeks in prison on February the 24th. However, in an outrageous turn on February the 27th, he was given a suspended sentence on appeal. This means he has not gone to prison and will only be incarcerated if he breaks the terms of that sentence or commits another crime within 2 years. Ironically, Amesbury had condemned thugs and criminals during the 2024 riots. The Home Office posted on X, "Put simply, if you engage in violent protests, you will face the full force of the law." Amesbury reposted this, writing, "For the thugs and criminals, see what to expect below." To many, it does not seem that he has faced the same for his own violent thuggery. It's the lightly slapped wrist of the law. There are so-called rioters locked up for years merely for shouting and gesturing. If the establishment wants us to believe there is no two-tier justice, then they're not going the right way about it. An MP cannot be automatically removed from Parliament unless they are sentenced to over a year in prison. If they are convicted of a crime but sentenced to less than a year, it is up to their constituents to remove them through a recall petition. This needs to be signed by 10% of the constituency's electorate. In the end, it was not required because Amesbury stepped down as an MP and a by-election was triggered, thought to be scheduled for May the 1st. Because of legislation dating from 1624, an MP cannot technically resign. A change was made in 1680 requiring an MP to stand down if they took a royal appointment, because their impartiality and loyalty to Parliament could be compromised. Ever since, a quaint loophole has existed, whereby MPs that wish to resign are given a made-up job with the Crown. Nowadays, it is either Crown Steward and Bailiff of the Chiltern Hundreds, which Amesbury was given, or Crown Steward and Bailiff of the Manor of Northstead. In fairness, Amesbury has shown contrition and admitted the incident was a nightmare I created. He said when he sees the video, "It's me, but I don't recognise myself, and I find it quite traumatic." He claims he was on edge because of the febrile atmosphere around the winter fuel allowance cuts, and also because he'd had a recent stalker. I suppose we've all had drunken altercations in our time, physical or verbal, but we're not legislators in the national parliament. Neither was this an act of self-defence, which you could argue the famous John Prescott incident was. Prescott, RIP, was assaulted that time in 2001, and for all he knew, it was not a mere egg that had struck him. He responded in the way you'd expect a working-class ship steward to respond to a threat. Amesbury does claim he's had long-term depression, anxiety and mental health issues, and wrote about this in 2014, but I think this is a bit of a sob story for the sympathetic media tour. Another curious incident in Amesbury's career was when he seemed to share a very anti-Semitic meme on his Facebook account. It was shared in 2013, before he became an MP, and came to light in 2019. This really was anti-Semitic, of a hideous Jewish caricature wearing a Santa hat with the caption, "Remember to support the banks and corporations this Christmas in their continued efforts to enslave mankind," along with a web address for an Illuminati site. At first, Amesbury denied it on Twitter, trying to make out it was a faked post. When someone found it was live on his Facebook account, he then claimed he didn't recall sharing it and apologized for the error. It's possible he was hacked, of course, or it was entirely accidental, but perhaps there was another reason he didn't remember.
I don't know where I felt like I could get a little drink around here, do you, bud?
These are from my article series Don't Vote Labour Again, published on my Substack, link in description. I usually split each subject into smaller episodes. In the description, you will find links to the other episodes. You can also check out my playlist to find every single one. Please support me in my work by subscribing to this channel, subscribing free to my Substack, and by liking and sharing. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon as we plumb the depths of this dreadful government.